So today we are going to build this admin panel where we have our tasks progress, tasks completed, or monthly tasks bar chart. So we also have our tasks created versus tasks completed chart, and team performance and monthly income. We also have a team members here, and we also have a salaries page. So in our next part of this application, we are going to add our daily tasks feature. Okay, so let's go and try to build this. So now in order to start our project, first we need to make our component. Okay, so first we need to create our component, and we need to create our pages. So in our component, first we need to create our sidebar. Let's write a sidebar.js and sidebar.css. And we need to create our navbar. And here we need to create our home or right bar. And let's create our home right bar.js and home right bar.css. And now let's go in our page, not here, let's go in our page. And in our page I'm going to create a home page first, and let's write a home, sorry for that, and let's write a home.js, home.css. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is let's import our sidebar. Okay, so first let's go in our sidebar. Let's save this and let's import. Let's write refc bar.css. Okay, so let's go in our sidebar, and in our sidebar let's give it a class name. So our class name will be main sidebar. Let's write a main sidebar container. Let's copy this and let's go in our css, and let's get our flex. Okay, so our flex will be faux, and I'm going to write a background color which is black background color. And now let's go in our home right bar, refc. Let's import our, oh sorry for that, import home right bar.css. Let's give it a class name. So our class name will be main home right bar. I'm gonna write this flex will be 0.8. I don't know. So let's give it a background color. So our background color will be, let's write a red background color for now. And I'm gonna write a height. Height will be 100 vh. So now let's go to our home.js, and in our home.js I'm gonna import our sidebar, and let's write our home right bar. So now I'm gonna give it a class name. So our class name will be now let's import our css. So now let's get our display will be flex, and we need to delete this. Now let's import our home. Sorry for that. Okay, so yeah, so this is our home right bar. Okay, so let's go back, and let's go in our home right bar, home.css. Okay, so I did a mistake. We need to flex 4 here, and we need to go in our sidebar, and here we need to write out. Okay, so 0.8. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, let's go back, and here I'm gonna change this background color. So instead of this, let's change this and make it a white. So let's give it a white. Okay, okay. So first we need to make our sidebar. So let's go in our sidebar.js. Let's create a one div, and after that let's write a UL, and let's write a ULI. In our ULI, I'm gonna write image, and I'm gonna write a p tag, and let's write a first home. Yeah, first I'm gonna copy this. Okay, so let's give it a class name. So again, I need to give it a class name here. So let's give it a class name, and so our class name will be ul container, and let's write a uli container. Okay, so now let's copy this uli container. And here let's give it our display will be flex. Our align item will be center. Okay, so now let's go back in our sidebar. I'm gonna copy this and paste it here and here. Let's save this. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this. So here I'm gonna write a useful, and let's write a menu. Yeah, so let's give it a class name. So our class name will be menu. Let's go back in our CSS. In our ULI container, and here I'm going to write a margin top. Let's go back again. Let's go back, and let's go in our ULI container. I mean UI container. So let's go back in our UI containers. So we don't have UI container. So let's write a UI container, and let's give it a margin top, which is 20 pixel. Yeah, so maybe 70 or something like that. And before this UI container, here what I'm going to do is one div, and inside this div I'm going to write a one image and name. So our name will be admin admin, or let's give it a UH1, and maybe we don't need this image, so let's remove this image. Let's give it a class name. So our class name will be admin admin container, and let's go back and give it a CSS. Let's give it a display will be flex. Yeah, and let's give it a margin top minus 10 pixel. Yeah, so maybe I need to decrease this font size. Okay, so I need to decrease this font size, so let's sorry for that. So let's give it a class name. So our class name will be admin text. So now let's give it a font size, which is maybe 20 pixel. Margin left. Yeah, let's go back, and here I'm gonna use my icon. Okay, so I'm gonna import all of these icons. So for that I'm going to forward this video. You can download this icon from the description. Go in the description and download this icon. Okay, so these are our icon. Okay, so now let's use these icons. Okay, so I import image. Now I'm gonna change this title. So instead of homepage, I'm gonna write a daily tasks, team member, monthly income. Sorry for that. Oh my cursor. Monthly income, salaries. Now let's give it a class name for all of these images. So let's write a sidebar icons. And let's copy this sidebar icon. Let's give it a width. And let's give it a height, which is 30 pixel. Yeah, so maybe let's decrease this. And now let's give it a let's go back in our let's give it a class name. So our class name will be item names. Copy this. Let's give it a margin left 10 pixel. Yeah, so it is more suitable. So maybe we need to shift this whole container into upper side. Okay, so let's go back, and in our margin top I'm gonna write 30 or 40, I don't know. Yeah, so 30 would be enough, I think. So now let's go back, and in our menu I'm going to copy this menu. Oh yeah, so I already have menu. So now let's write a color. So our color will be let's check it out which color is suitable. Yeah, so this color is suitable for this. So now let's go in our item names. So item names, now let's give it a color. Color will be yeah, so this color code. Maybe do we need this admin text or not? I don't think so. Maybe I'm gonna delete this yeah, so that's it is more suitable without this admin text. Okay, so now let's go back. No. So maybe I just write a wrong spelling for our salary. Instead of salary, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a salaries. Let's save this. Yeah, so salaries, monthly income, setting. Okay, so all of this thing was done. So UL container, after this UL container, I'm gonna create another div. So now let's write h4, and here what we need to do is let's write a sh edu led schedule events, and after that what we need to do is I'm going to create a one div, And inside this div, let's write a input, and our input type is radio. Let's write a label. So our HTML4 is let's write a HU BB healthy bidet, and I'm going to copy this. Let's paste it here, and let's paste this here. Now I'm going to copy this. Okay, I got a problem here. I don't know why. Yeah, because of this. Now let's copy this, and I'm going to paste it. Now let's change this value, and let's write a sys anniversary. And let's change this value. So our value will be base t wedding. Copy this. I'm gonna paste it here, save this, and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be schedule container, container container. I'm going to copy this and paste it here and here. Now let's copy this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to write our display will be flex. Yeah, now let's write margin left, which is a 10 or 20 pixel. Let's make it a 30 pixel, and let's give it a padding, which is 10 pixel. Go back, and let's give it a class name for this schedule. What the hell? Class name schedule text or title, or I don't know. So let's copy this, and I'm gonna style this. Let's write a font size which is 14 pixel, and I'm gonna write a color. I'm gonna copy this color and paste it here, and then let's give it a margin. Let's write right 60, or let's write a 70 or 80. Yeah, so 80 would be enough. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy a menu. Okay, so I already copy a menu, so let's go in our menu, and here let's write a margin left, which is 10 pixel minus 10 pixel, or we can also write a margin right. Yeah, so now it's more suitable. So let's give it a background color, which is I'm gonna use a random background color for now. And let's change this background color. And now let's write a border radius, which is 10 pixel. And let's write a margin top, which is 10 pixel. and yeah, maybe that's it. Or maybe I can change this color a little bit. Yeah, so that's color is more suitable. So I'm gonna remove this red color from our home right bar. So let's go back, and instead of red color, I'm gonna delete this color, or maybe I'm gonna write a darker white kind of color. Yeah, so okay, so now let's go back. Let's delete this for now. Let's remove this again. Let's remove this. And now here I'm gonna give it a class name. So our class name will be schedule. Let's write a main schedule container, and let's copy this and let's go back. So here I'm going to write a margin top, which is 40 or maybe 80 pixel or something like that. Yeah, or maybe I can write margin right for this container, and now it's look cool. So now let's go and build our navbar. Okay, now I'm going to import my navbar here. Okay, so we just import our navbar. Now in our navbar, I'm going to write something. Okay, so here we need to create our three div. So this is our first div, second div, and our third div. And here I'm gonna write h1 tag, and I'm gonna write it dashboard, dashboard. And here I'm gonna write img, and let's write our input, which is search. And after that we need our notification icon, so I'm gonna write an image, and let's write a one div, and inside this div I'm gonna write another image, and then let's write our p tag and our name Suman. Okay, so I'm going to import icon for this navbar, so I'm going to forward this importing part. Okay, so these are our icons. This is notification, search, profile. So here I'm going to use a search icon, search, and here I need to import my profile icon. Profile. Now let's give it a class name. Class name. So our class name will be search icon, and here I need to write a notification icon, and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be profile icons or icon. Now let's go in our CSS. So let's give it a width will be, right now I'm gonna write 20, and a height will be 20 pixel again. And after that, let's copy these notification icons or icon, and now let's give it a width will be 20 pixel, and our height will be 20 pixel. And let's copy this profile icon, and let's give it a width 20 pixel, and our height 20 pixel. Let's save this, and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be search item container, and after that let's write a class name. So our class name will be profile items container. Let's write items. Now let's copy this search item container, and let's copy this profile items container. First of all, let's give it our display will be flex, and here our display will be flex. Okay, so after that let's give it a class name. So our class name will be main navbar container, and I'm gonna write a display will be flex, and let's write justify content will be space between. Let's save this, and also let's write align item will be center, and let's go back. Oh, sorry for that, I just click in a wrong place. Now let's go back, and I'm gonna write a class name. So our class name will be profile items, and let's write a display will be flex, align item will be center. Okay, so now let's go back, and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be dashboard container. So let's give it a flex. So flex will be 0.8, and let's give it a flex. Yeah, flex flex. Sorry for that. 3, and let's give it a flex, which is 0.5, and maybe I need to increase this and make it to 1 or something. Let's go back and let's see. Yeah, okay, so 1 is more for this, so I'm gonna write it 0.7. Yeah, and let's write align item will be center, Okay, so now let's go back and let's see. First, let's give a class name for our dashboard. So our class name will be ds dash t, or let's write txt text dash text, and let's give it a front size which is 17 pixel. Not 17, let's write a 20. Yeah, so 20 would be enough. Let's write a margin right which is 38 pixel or something. Okay, so I'm gonna write a 58. Let's go in our search item container here, and first let's give it a background color. Right now I'm going to select a random background color. Okay, let's give it a padding which is 10 pixel, or maybe 6 or something like that. Yeah, so 6 pixel would be enough. After that, let's write a border radius which is again 10 pixel, or maybe 16 pixel. Yeah, let's write a border which is 1 pixel, solid, and maybe a red kind of color or something like that. I don't know which color is suitable. Now let's change this background color and make it a little bit whitest white. Okay, now let's go back and give it a class name for this input. So our class name will be search input, and let's give it a width 100%, and let's give it a border will be none, and let's write a little bit padding. So I'm gonna write padding which is 5 pixel, or maybe 3. Let's give it a background color. So I'm gonna copy this background color. Okay, so let's go back, and here I'm gonna write a placeholder. So our placeholder will be search, and let's go back in our search container. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write flex will be 2.4 or 2.0, and let's write a margin not a margin left, but I'm going to write a margin right which is 100 pixel. Yeah, so now let's go in our dashboard text, and here I'm going to write a margin right which is 108 and 118 pixel. Yeah, now let's go and style this profile container. So now let's go in our navbar, and I'm going to style our profile icon. Where is our profile item, container, and profile icon? Yeah, so let's give it a 50 and 50. Okay, so now I'm gonna write a border radius, which is 50%. I'm gonna decrease this and make it a, oh, sorry for that. I'm gonna decrease this and make it a 35 or 34, something like that. Yeah. Now let's give it a margin left, which is a 10 pixel or maybe 30 pixel, 40 pixel. Yeah. Now let's go back, and yeah, so I'm gonna give it a class name, and let's write a profile name. Let's give it a margin left, which is 20 pixel. I mean 10 pixel, not 20. Or we don't need this 10 pixel, so let's write a 7 pixel. And let's go in our notification icon. Where is our notification icon? Yeah, so here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a background color, which is red. Let's give it a padding, which is 4 pixel. Let's write a border radius, 10 pixel or maybe 6 pixel. And let's give it a margin left, which is 10 pixel. And let's go in our profile icon and margin left, which is 30 or 25 pixel. Yeah. Now let's give it a background color. Okay, so let's change this. And now let's write a border radius, 10 pixel, not suitable. And let's change this background color. Yeah, so this kind of background color is more suitable. Okay, so our navbar was finished. Now we are going to build our main container. We need to create a two div. So this is our one div and this is our another div. So in our first div, I'm going to create a I'm going to create a three div. Okay, so this is our first div, second, third div, and now let's give it a class name. So our class name will be item container. And now let's give it a class name. Class name will be item container one. Let's copy this. Okay, so first I'm going to copy this. Let's go back and let's give it a display will be flex, and let's write a item container one. And here I'm going to give it a background color, so I'm going to give it a random background color. So let's give it a width. All right, now let's write a width which is 180, and our height will be 10 or 20 VH. Let's try to justify content, or justify content will be space around. Okay. Now let's change this background color because I didn't see background color clearly. Yeah. So now what we can do is we can write a margin which is auto, and let's write a 390, or I'm gonna delete this space around. Okay, so now let's write a justify content will be center. Yeah, and here I'm gonna write a margin, sorry for that, let's write a margin left. Okay, so inside this what we need to do is, and let's go to CSS again, and I'm gonna change this background color, and instead of this background color I'm gonna write a white. Let's write a margin top 10 pixel, and maybe we need to write a border radius which is again 10 pixel or something like that. Here I'm going to create one div. Let's write a p tag, tags progress, and after this text I'm going to write another text, and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be tags counter 112. Let's write another p tag, and here let's write a curr current month, and let's write a class name. So our class name will be current month one. Okay, so after that what we need to do is let's go in our item container one. Okay, so item container one, I'm going to write a display will be flex, and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be stocks progress, stocks progress. Let's copy this, and let's write a text line. Also for that, what the hell, let's write a text line which is start tax counter. Let's write a text line which is start and our current month one, and again we need to do the same thing which is text align, which is, sorry for that, text align start. So in our text counter I'm gonna increase this font size, let's make it 20 pixel, and let's write a font weight 600, and let's write a margin left 10 pixel, and I'm going to copy this, Okay, so and let's write a margin bottom, margin top 20 pixel or something like that, or let's write a 30. Okay, so now let's write a margin top which is again minus 30 or something like that, or minus 30. Okay, so minus 20 or minus 10 something. Yeah, it's minus 10, and I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. And yeah, so that's good. So in order to use our bar chart, we need to go and search our rechart. So we are going to use this bar chart. So in order to use this, first we need to install our rechart. So in order to install this, I'm going to use a yarn. So let's write a yarn add and let's enter recharts. Now in order to use this, what we need to do is I'm going to copy this and paste this here. Let's format this code, and we need our data. So this is our data. Let's copy this, and we need to use this data after. I'm gonna delete this PV, and now let's go back. You need to go in this examples, and you need to copy this. You need to copy this. Let's copy this. Now let's save this. Okay, so I got an error because we need to import our bar chart. So let's write a bar charts bar. Let's save this. Okay, so let's remove this line, and I'm going to delete this responsive container. Let's remove this, and let's remove this. And we also need to remove this. Let's go back. So we need to resize this bar chart. So instead of width 730, I'm going to write a 130, and height will be 100. And let's see. Yeah. Now let's give it a style. Class name. So our class name will be bar chart container. Okay, so we need to write a margin left, which is maybe 60 or 70 pixels, something like that. Let's write a 90. And margin top will be 40. Yeah. Let's go back, and we need to increase this width. Width will be 160 or 166. Yeah, so that would be enough. You can also delete this. Now let's remove this unwanted text from here. give it a class name. So let's give it a class name. So our class name will be item container, sub item container. Okay, so let's write a sub item container. I'm going to copy this. We'll set with that. Let's write a margin top. Okay, so that would be enough. And let's give it a color for our text. Now let's copy this, and in our counter what I'm gonna do is let's give it a color, and let's go back. I'm going to use this color here. Let's save this. Yeah, or maybe I'm gonna change this, and yeah, so 700 would be enough. Or maybe I need to increase this font size, which is 24. Yeah, and now margin top, I'm gonna write as 16. Okay, so now I'm gonna change this bar color. Okay, so for that what we need to do is let's go back, and I'm going to copy this. Okay, so instead of this color code, what I'm going to do is let's write up, and now so I'm going to change a bar color from here. So before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to redesign this height for this bar chart. Let's write 1,000, and our second, which is 800, or maybe 600. So now let's change the bar color. Okay, now I'm gonna remove this color, and instead of this I'm going to paste this color code. Now do the same thing for this. I'm going to change a background color for I'm going to change a color for this bar too. So for that I'm gonna change this color code with this color. Yeah, now everything's look pretty cool. So let's go back in our CSS, and margin top will be 14 or 16, and do the same thing for our current month, which is maybe 18 or 19, something like that. Or let's write a 20, 23. Yeah, so let's write a font size 11 pixel, and now what we need to do is let's write a margin top, which is 22. No, 22 is not a good idea, so let's write 29. Yeah, so let's go back, copy this, and I'm going to paste this here and here. Let's format this code. Let's save this and let's go back. So now we need to change this text. Okay, so for that, what we need to do is we need to write COMPLE completed, task completed, and here I'm gonna write a monthly task SUMMARY summary. Okay, so let's change this text and let's change this 301. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a text task progress. Instead of task progress, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a task complete and task counter 1, month 2, let's write a month 3, task counter 3, and another task progress. I'm going to write task SUMMARY summary. Okay, so first I'm going to copy this task completed, and let's find out task complete. I'm going to copy this, or maybe or maybe we don't need to change this current month color, all of these things, so I'm gonna left this as it is. So let's copy this task progress and paste it again here and here, and we need to change the color for this task counter. So let's copy this task counter and let's find our task counter here, and let's copy this and paste it here, and I'm going to copy this again and let's write a task counter 2. Let's save this, and okay, so this is our task counter 1. Okay, so I'm going to change this and make it 2. So now what we need to do is I need to change this. So what I need to do is I need to change this color. Okay, so let's remove this color code from here. Let's remove this color code from here, and instead of this color code I'm going to write another color code. So I'm going to paste this color code here. Let's save this and let's go in our home right bar, and I'm going to copy this data. Let's copy this data, and let's change this name, and our name is data1, and I'm going to paste this again, and let's change this data. Let's write a data2. Okay, so let's go in our bar chart and let's write a data2. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now I'm going to change this UV data. So instead of 1000, so instead of this 1000 I'm going to write it 2000. Let's save this, and now let's check it out. Let's go back, and we have an error in our current month. So let's go in our current month. Yeah, so current month 1 and current month 1. Okay, yeah, so I got an error here, so I need to change class name and restyle this. Okay, so let's go back. So let's change class name for this sub item container. So instead of sub item container, I'm going to write sub item container 1. Okay, so let's copy this, and let's go in our sub item container. So where is our sub item container? Yeah, sub item container 1, and let's write a margin which is 33 pixel. Yeah, no, 19 pixel or something like that. Okay, so this is not enough, so let's write a 10. Yeah, so 10 would be enough. So now I'm going to change this bar color. First, let's remove this color and this color code. And let's go in our data one, and here I'm going to paste this color code. And so nothing happened. I don't know why. So let's go in our bar chart, and yeah, so let's write a bar chart 1. Okay, so now I got this color. So now I need to change the color code for this monthly tax summary. So let's go in our data 2, and in our data 2, let's paste on new color code here. Okay, so this is our new color code. Yeah, so now I need to go in our tax container 2, I mean tax counter 2. So in here, let's write our color. Our color will be this color code, and everything's look cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease this font size. So for that, let's write our font size, which is 12 pixel. Yeah, and now let's do the same thing for our monthly tax. Or monthly tax, tax counter, tax counter, tax counter, tax progress, and here I'm gonna change it and make it a 12 pixel. Yeah, and now I need to, now I need to shift this container into a downside. So here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to write a 30 or maybe 38. Wait, 38 is not enough, so 30, 45, or maybe a 50. Okay, so 50 is not good idea. So 38. Yeah, so 38 would be enough for this. So I need to change the margin top for our monthly tax. So instead of 10, I'm going to write 20 or 30. Yeah, 30 would be enough maybe. That's it. So if you want to write a, bo so if you want to write a box shadow, so you can write this. Let's search box shadow, and I think not here. Let's go here, and I'm gonna copy this box shadow, and let's go now item container. So item container, and I'm gonna use this box shadow here. And now let's see. Yeah, now it's look cool. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to give it a class name. So let's give it a class name. So our class name will be my DD middle uh, text chart chart. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a p tag, and let's write our tags created versus tags comple completed. Let's save this and let's give it a class name. So our class name will be tags uh, created versus comple completed. Okay, so let's save this. And after that, what we need to do is we need to go in our this richard.org, and let's click this line chart, and I'm going to use this line chart. So in order to use this line chart, what we need to do is we need to copy this data. let's copy let's copy this data, and we need to paste this data here, and let's write a data for. So instead of uv and pv, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a tags created versus tags created created and tags comple completed. And I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and let's copy this and paste it here, and do the same thing for our all other data. Let's save this, and now let's go back, and we need to copy this, and let's paste this here, and let's format this code. Now let's save this, and I got an error, which is we don't have this line chart or this line, so we need to import our line chart or line. Let's save this, and now let's go back. Okay, so I got this. Okay, so now what we need to do is I need to copy this tags created, and here we need to give it a tags created versus tags comple completed. And now let's go back. Okay, so I got an error, which is we need we need to write data for. Now let's save this, and now let's go back, and we got this line. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do is now let's give it a style for our middle tags chart. So let's give it a width will be 90%, background color which is white, and margin which is auto, justify content which is a center. Let's save this. Okay, so Now let's increase this width. Instead of 90, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase this and make it a 92, and maybe 92 is good for this. So now we need to increase our width. Okay, so instead of 7, I'm going to write 800, 900, or let's write 1000, and let's decrease our height, which is 200, and maybe we can increase this width again. So let's make it 1 1150. Yeah, so now let's remove this. Yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a box shadow. Okay, so for this box shadow, we have this box shadow style here. Let's copy this, and I'm gonna paste this box shadow here in our middle text chart. Yeah, and let's go back, and let's copy this task created versus completed text, and I'm going to style this text. So let's give it a front front weight, which is 600. Yeah, so now let's give it a front size, which is a 14 pixel. Oh, sorry for that. And let's give it a padding, which is 10 pixel. And yeah, so that's it. So we can redesign this line. So in order to redesign this line, what we need to do is we need to change our data numbers in our data flow. Okay, so here I'm going to change these numbers. So here let's write a 4,000 to 8,000, and let's give it a 3,000 or 2,000, and let's give it a 7,000 and 1,000. Yeah, so it is more suitable now. So now what we need to do is we need to go in our, or we need to create our, so we need to create our another new div. So here we need to create a new div, and inside this div, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a two div. Let's create a two div first. Okay, so in this first div, let's save this first. So let's give it a class name. So our class name will be docs chart, and let's give it a class name for this another div, and our div name will be monthly, and let's give it a class name for our main. So let's give it a class name for our main div. So let's write a tags container. So first let's give it a class name for our tags container. So let's give it a display will be flex, and our width will be 92%. Justify content will be center, and margin will be auto. Let's save this, and let's copy our tags chart. So let's give it a flex, which is 1.2, and let's write a monthly what. So let's copy this and paste it here, and let's give it a flex. So our flex will be full. So let's give it, background color, which is white, height, which is 10 VH. Yeah, I got this div, or I got this color. Now let's give it a background color, which is white. Okay, so let's remove this height from here. Let's remove this height, and let's copy this box arrow, and I'm going to paste this box arrow here and here. Let's save this, and after that let's give it a margin top, which is 10 pixel. And here first I'm going to write a p tag. Let's write a p, and let's write a your team for for performance this week. Okay, and inside this monthly income div, what I'm gonna do is let's write a p tag and monthly EAR, earning per for performance. Okay, so let's give it a class name for this both. So our class name will be tax container text text. Okay, let's copy this, and I'm gonna give it a class name for here. So let's give it a class name. So our class name will be tax container text. Okay, so let's give it a text line, which is a star. Yeah, so maybe I'm going to, so maybe we need to increase this task chart flex size. So let's write a 1.6 or 1.7 or something like that, and let's write a margin left. So first I'm gonna implement our chart for this monthly earning performance. So we need to use this chart. So now what I'm going to do is first let's copy the data, this data. We need to use this data here. So our data will be data 6. I'm going to delete this PV. Let's delete this PV. Let's delete this PV. Okay, so instead of this page 1, you can write a date, which is June, or do the same thing for other. Write month name here. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. Let's go back and let's copy this and paste it here, and let's import this Great. So let's go back. Yeah, so let's save this. Okay, so I got an error, so let's import some of the Axios here. Okay, so let's go back in our data, in our chart data. Where is our data? So instead of a data, I'm going to write a data 6, and we don't need a PV, so we don't have PV here. Let's save this and let's go back. Yeah, so I got this chart. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase my width. So instead of 500, I'm gonna write a 1000, and I'm going to increase this date. Okay, so now we have a 5 or 6. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 date lines. So I'm gonna write another 5 and another 1. Okay, so I got an error because I just write a same name, so instead of page. So what I'm going to do is let's write a DAC December, January, November, OCT. Let's save this and let's go back, and I got my data. So let's go. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease my width. So width will be 800, or our height will be 370, or we can decrease this and add 300. So we can also write a separated color for this bar. So let's add a separated color. Okay, so here I'm gonna okay, so let's save this and let's write a 4000. Let's decrease this amount. So let's copy this, not this color, but what I'm gonna do is let's copy this color. So we are going to paste our color in our every data. Okay, so let's copy this, and instead of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this, and let's see. Okay, so I need to improve this data. Okay, so let's go back. So let's go in our top, and here I need to write 5000. Let's save this. Let's go back, and yeah. So our monthly income container was done. Okay, so now let's go back in our CSS, and let's write a margin will be 10 pixel. Yeah, so do the same thing for our tax chart, and we can also remove this. Yeah, so our monthly, so now let's now we are going to style our tax container text. Okay, so let's go in our tax container text, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a color. So our color will be, let's go, let's copy this current month one color, and I'm going to paste this color here. And let's increase this font size, so 16. And now let's write our font weight, which is 600. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to style our this your team performance this weight container. Okay, so let's go back, and we need to first we need to format this code. So let's format this code. Yeah, so here I'm going to import my another chart, or maybe I need to decrease this height for our monthly income performance chart. Yeah, so maybe now it's look pretty cool. And now we also got a error in our sidebar. So let's go back in our home. Let's go in our home.js. I mean, CSS is not here. So let's go in our home right bar, and let's remove this height. And yeah, so now let's go in our your team performance container. So your team performance container, yeah, here. Okay, so you need to go in this URL. So I'm going to give you this link in a description below. Just go and click this link, and you will just retarget it into this website. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import this pie chart or cell. So let's go back into our rechart. Okay, so now let's go back again, and I'm going to use this data and color. Let's copy this, and instead of data, I'm going to write data 7. Okay, so let's save this, and let's use this. And I'm going to use this code here. Now let's format this code. Yeah, let's save this, and instead of data I'm gonna write a data 7, and let's see. Okay, so I got a problem here. So now let's decrease this size. I didn't get our data here. Yeah, or 150. Okay, so 160 would be enough. So after this text, what I'm going to do is so instead of this chart, I'm going to write a p tag again, and let's write your team per, per performance is 5% better than last week. Let's save this. Okay, so now what we need to do is let's give it a class name. So our class name will be team performance text. Let's save this, and let's go now CSS. So let's give it a margin top, which is 30 or maybe 100 pixel. No, 100 pixel is not enough, so let's try 170 pixel. So let's give it a text line, which is start, and we need to give it a width will be 40% or maybe 60. So instead of start, I'm going to write a center. Let's write a margin left, which is a 30 pixel or 60. Okay, so I'm going to increase the width. So let's write a 70 or 80. 40 margin left, 40 or 30. Yeah, so let's give it a size, which is 12 pixel. So let's give it a color. So our color will be, I'm going to copy this color and I'm going to paste this color here, or maybe font size will 13, and let's write a font weight. Font weight will be 600. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this text into a little bit right side. Okay, so for that let's write a margin left, which is 40. Yeah, let's go back, and after this text I'm going to write a one button. So let's write a view details, and let's give it a class name. So for that let's give a class name. So our class name will be view details btn. So let's save this. Okay, so now let's write a padding, which is 10 pixel, not a 10. So what I'm going to do is let's write a padding left, which is 10 pixel, padding right 10 pixel, padding top 6 pixel, and padding bottom 6 pixel. Border will be none. Let's write a border radius, which is 10 pixel or maybe 5 pixel. So let's write a color or background color. So our background color will be this color code. So let's write our color. So our color will be white. Let's write our font weight 600, Okay, so we also need to write a border radius for this container. So let's go back and let's check our container name, which is middle tux chart. So let's go in our middle tux chart, and here let's write a border radius, which is 5 pixel, or maybe a 10 pixel. Yeah, not a 10, but let's write a 7 pixel. Yeah, so let's write width will be 92.4, or let's write a 6. Okay, so let's increase this more. Let's write a 93. Yeah, now both container width are same. Okay, so I need to increase the width for this last container. So let's go back. So let's write a 93, or for this maybe 94. Yeah, and now let's write a border radius, which is 10 pixel, and let's write a sorry for that. Let's write a border radius, which is 10 pixel again. So everything is done for our home page. Now we need to make our team member page. Let's do this. So in order to do this, what we need to do is let's go back in our code editor. So now we are going to use a router. Okay, so for that, let's go back in our code editor, and here what we need to do is first we install our React Router DOM. So let's write a yarn add React Router, sorry for that, DOM. Let's install this. So right now we are using React Router DOM version 6.4.4. So in this new versions, our React router work in a different way. Let's go back in our, so let's write a React Router DOM, and at the rate v6. Yeah, so you need to go in this create a browser router, and you need to copy this. Let's go back, and I'm going to paste this here. And also you need to copy this. Let's copy this, and we need to paste it after this. So we need to paste it here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to remove this loader. Let's remove this loader, and also we need to remove this children. Okay, so let's copy this, and path will be team. Let's copy this again, and our path will be salaries. Okay, so instead of root, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my home, and in our team, let's write our team, and in our salary, we are going to use our salary. Okay, so right now I don't have this team, so let's import our team from page slash team member slash team. Let's save this, and after that I'm going to delete this. And so we need to copy this router provider router. So I'm going to paste this here, and let's save this, and I hope everything is done. So let's go back, and now let's go back. Okay, so I got this home page. Let's write our salaries. Yeah, so we are in our salary page. Here is our payment, and let's go in our team, and this is our team. Yeah, so let's go back. So let's go in our sidebar first. Let's go in our home, and let's go in our sidebar. So in our sidebar, what we need to do is we need to go in our, so we need to go here, and let's write our let's write our Yalayank link to team. Let's save this, and let's go in our home page and check it just work or not. See if I click this, so it work. So what you can do is let's write style, text decoration will be none. Let's see, yeah, and let's go in our salary here, and let's write our link. Let's write it to, salaries, and let's write a link here again. Let's write it to. Let's write style, text decoration. Text decoration will be none. Let's copy this, and I'm going to use this style here. Let's, oh sorry for that, I just write it in a wrong place, so let's write here. Let's save this, and if I click this home, we are in our home page. If I click this salary, we are in our salary page. If I click this team, we are in our team page, our salary page. Yeah, so that's it for this video. In our next upcoming part, we are going to build our daily tasks feature. Okay, so for now, let's goodbye. And if you like this video, please subscribe this channel. If you are new viewers on this channel, please subscribe this channel.